I don't know if you've ever seen actors in theatre or in film school do voice exercises. It's the funniest sight.
Yes.
Because voice exercise actually it's hilarious.
Because of the kind of story it already is. Everything is so new, and it just everything felt, यार ये क्या हो रहा है, ये मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, ये हो क्या रहा है.
Well, as an individual, we have all tried our hands and actually sitting back home and trying new crafts. Some of us actually started maybe painting, cooking, or maybe doing some of the other chores ताकि हमारा time कट सके because lockdown phase है and we can't go out. And it seems like that our actors are leaving no stone unturned to actually help us in this लेंदी प्रोसेस, क्योंकि आज हमारे साथ जुड़ने वाले हैं प्रतीक बब्बर एंड रसिका दुग्गल, जिन्होंने आज तक अपने एक्टिंग स्टिल से हमको उनका दीवाना किया था, लेकिन आज अपनी आवाज के जरिए वो रीच आउट कर रहे हैं मासेस को और उनके साथ यानी उनके लिए लेकर आए हैं कहानी ऑफ द लास्ट गर्ल हु एक्चुअली फेल इन लव विद. जी हाँ दोस्तों, दुर्जॉय दत्ता, वन ऑफ द एस राइटर्स की ये कहानी द लास्ट गर्ल टू फॉल इन लव विद को दी है अपनी आवाज इन दोनों ने. तो आज हमारे साथ ये जुड़ेंगे एंड दे गोना शेयर अबाउट देयर जर्नी विद दिस न्यू प्रोजेक्ट ऑफ देयर्स.
Well, guys, firstly, a warm welcome to two of you, and I would say it is a very different day for me. Normal interviews करे हुए हैं, you know, like for example, एक promotion के लिए किया है, एक movie promotion किया है, एक TV promotions किए हैं, series के. But this type of promotion wherein you know you're gonna listen audiobooks, wherein you're gonna listen to stories, जहाँ पे हम आपकी आवाज से दर्शकों को अपने पास खींच के ला रहे हैं. That is a very different kind of a thing that you know now that we're gonna get to hear from you people. So how has your experience been?
I've done this before with Audible also on 2 different occasions. एक मैंने उनके साथ इसी शो का सीक्वल किया था, प्रीक्वल किया था, लास्ट बॉय टू फॉल इन लव, एंड अभी हम लास्ट गर्ल की बात करेंगे. And बीच में I had done a series called Uncovidable. The first time I did it was a very different sort of an experience because usually as an actor there are so many things you have to work with, you know, when you're shooting on set and all of that. And यहाँ पे you only have your voice, so you kind of notice things about your voice and learn to work with that in isolation. Rather than having so many options to work with. So that's always an interesting experience. You get to learn something more about voice work, which is always very, very useful to an actor. And also I think lockdown is the time where I discovered my love for audio content. I don't know whether that happened to you all or not, but I think it was the first few months last year where we all of us were doing so many household chores that I figured that audio content is the best way to keep your mind engaged while you're doing mundane activity. So I think I've really taken to audio content in the last year as a performer and as a listener.
But this is my first time. I felt so in touch with the artist inside me and the performer inside me like never before. I have never felt like this on a set or while dubbing, even though the processes might be a little similar when you dub for a film. But somehow, I don't know why, I felt so connected with myself while I was doing this. The way I felt like I was the captain of the ship. You know, there was a huge responsibility on me to make sure, you know, the story and the characters are extremely well portrayed. And I think because of that responsibility, it just made me connect with the medium and with the character and script even more, you know, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I remember these a few instances where I was in another dimension completely. You know, I had just blurred everything else out from my memory and my vision and my thoughts. Everything was just nothing existed except for me, the story and the character and the way I was supposed to portray it and you know, making sure I am pronouncing words properly and enunciating properly and the punctuations and emotions and everything intact, you know. Never felt more in touch with myself ever.
Okay, I really need to know one thing out here. हमने हमेशा देखा है कि books की adaptations बनती हैं into movies or serials for that matter. This is not an adaptation. This is like a small series that you're watching through your voice that people are going to listen to it and they're going to fall in love with those characters out there. So do you think that, this gives you the leeway of actually getting people attracted to that beautiful story? It's just like a serial, but just the difference is कि इनको देखने को कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है और आपकी आवाज के जरिए, like a radio or something, you're just trying to get them over there. It's मतलब, that giving them the bookish feel, but not yet the book feel. वैसा वाला कुछ. Do you feel that way around?
I mean, the attempt is always to reach the audience in one way or the other, no matter what medium you're working with. And given the limitations or the advantages of a medium, you would want that you are able to connect with them, and they're, in a way, in the sense that they're able to connect with the story. That is your connection as a performer with an audience, right? So the attempt is always that. Of course, people have different ways of consuming content, and a certain kind of content is more accessible to them or more attractive to them at a certain time for a certain reason, and some is not. So those are things, but I am very sort of excited about the idea that there are different sorts of content on different mediums, and everybody seems to sort of be lapping it up. For example, I watch a show at night, but during the day, if I'm doing some other work, I'm listening to audio content, So I'm accessing all sorts of content across mediums. So that is, I think, what people are doing these days.
I absolutely agree. Besides what Rasika said, I think there is a personal connect you have with the list, with the speaker, with the person who's narrating, because it's so personalized. There's nothing that you hear except for the voice. I mean, I usually I imagine that voices sound more soothing. So I think it's also a very calming process when you are listening to somebody's voice, and especially somebody that you admire and are a fan of, or like, or follow, or I think that makes it more personal and intimate. So that is also an advantage the audiences have, and the actors also have, the performers also have, that you somehow you get to reach out to your audiences in another way.
But then when I read a book, so I have my set of perceptions when I'm reading it. So there might be a chance that, जैसे मैं एक emotion को समझना चाहूँ और जैसे आपने वो emotion को समझाया है, there might and there might not be कि मतलब similar pages पे हो.
Yes, so that's perspective. That is perspective. maybe you will. अगर पसंद ना आए तो यार पसंद ना आए, लेकिन अगर पसंद आए तो वो एक और एस्पेक्ट हो जाता है जहाँ पे आप सीख पाओगे कि यार ये बंदा या ये बंदी इस तरीके से भी इमोट कर सकते हैं, ये इस तरीके से भी हमें इस तरीके से भी समझा सकते हैं कि यार ये this was my thought process, लेकिन maybe they will open the performers will expand your horizons, if I may say, in terms of how you perceive the emotions or the story.
First time, what all preparations did you do actually for this project? कुछ ऐसा था जो आपने सीखने की कोशिश करी, like maybe trying different voices, trying different modulations or something for that fact?
Fortunately, I have done some personal work on my voice and voice modulation or रियाज ये सब मैंने किया है पहले. So I had an idea. I think I just wanted to apply what I had already learned in a studio while I was dubbing for all the films or projects that I have dubbed for. I wanted to apply that same method, if I may say. Because I had dubbed, it was more comfortable. If I was somebody who had never dubbed before, then it would be something, it would be an extremely foreign situation and feeling. And lekin, I think the only difference was that we were starting from scratch. We start from scratch. We create from the very go of the beginning of the story till the end. I think it's that much more of a responsibility for the performer to make sure it is bang on.
Okay, what about you, Rasika? How was your first? Unfortunately, not this. I would love to know this experience also. But जब पहली बार आपने you dubbed maybe for the audio books, I would say. How was your experience there? What all did you do?
As actors, as Prateik also mentioned, कहीं ना कहीं आपने अपनी प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में या ट्रेनिंग प्रोसेस में बहुत सारी वॉइस एक्सरसाइजेस की होंगी. मतलब I don't know if you've ever seen actors in theatre or in film school do voice exercises. It's the funniest sight.
Yes.
Because voice exercise actually is hilarious. And they're one of those things that you'll always note down in your notebook, and you'll always think कि मैं रोज करूँगी, but you'll probably never do it because it's you know what I'm saying, Prateik, right?
Yes, I do.
So it's one of those things that which seems very like regular. So when I first started recording for Last Boy to Fall in Love, I said now I'm going to get all my film school notebooks out. I'm going to start doing this every day. Honestly, I did none of it. It was all, I got busy with some other project that I was shooting and all of that happened. But there was this wonderful lady who was part of the studio that I was recording with, Mona, who had directed the show also. And somebody who used to work with her, both of them sat with me and just helped me read the text a couple of times to get comfortable with it. So Durjoy's writing, most of Durjoy's writing is lovely and interesting, but they're most often very long sentences.
Yes.
And Last Boy to Fall in Love में तो इतना action packed था कि that person is going somewhere and this other person is coming. So all of those things were done, but no hectic preparation process. I work so hard on the roles that I get as an actor because most of my roles are loaded with emotion, and I have all the crying scenes in every film or any show that I do, that I said, hey, let me treat this as a breeze and just do whatever I feel like doing. But yeah, these things obviously I learned along the way while doing the work. But most of what I employed to get to doing it was instinctive and just out of a sense of wanting to have fun with the text as a performer and trusting myself on that rather than getting into any hectic preparation process. Yeah.
I second that. Me too.
What is that one scene जो आप लोगों को लगता है कि जो आप लोगों के लिए to actually put in all your emotions was one of the most difficult one? जैसे maybe कोई suspense वाला scene था या maybe कोई final scene था जहाँ पे all your emotions were all over the place while you were talking and expressing yourself. ऐसा कोई scene था?
पूरे कहानी में ऐसे scenes हैं. मेरे लिए तो मुझे लगा कि हर scene ऐसे ही था. It was so meaty, इतना information और इतने emotions और इतना back and forth characters के साथ मुझे तो हर scene बहुत ही intense और challenging लगा, बहुत ही, because of the kind of story it already is. Everything is so new and it just everything felt यार ये क्या हो रहा है, ये मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, ये हो क्या रहा है. तो हर कहानी, पूरे कहानी में मेरे मन में यही तो यार ये क्या हो रहा है, because it's such a crazy world he has written, Durjoy. इस बंदे की imagination बहुत ही ज़्यादा wild है. तो और literally while reading, पढ़ते वक्त मुझे I was so curious to know what is going to happen next.
Intense तो like Prateik said सारा ही है.
हाँ.
It's very high in this story, and that's the fun part about this story. That's what's thrilling about it. But I think the one thing that I really enjoyed in Last Girl was there's this point where there are in the story where there are three different female characters. And though I'm narrating from the point of view of Sandhya, the main one of the two main protagonists of the story, there are these other two women also who are very different from Sandhya and very different from each other. And there are these bits where they speak, so I had to give them a slightly different voice than Sandhya's voice. And so there's one chapter towards the end of the book where all three are coming in very quickly next to each other, and so I had to shift between those. And so I that was what was challenging for me, because I knew that these three are very different women and I want them to sound different from each other, but I was wondering if it was coming across or not. So that for me was a challenging thing. I hope it has.
Yes.
Okay, lastly, just fans को ये बता दीजिए, साल 2020 obviously not so happening, 2021 already in the middle. Hopefully it shall be better ahead. what are their plans ahead for the people out there to watch, and what can they expect out of, Prateik, you and Rasika, you?
Firstly, uh, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, follow all the necessary COVID-19 protocols, get vaccinated, help the people in need. That is priority for us now more than anything. But otherwise, I mean, I really hope things get back to normal. I hope we shooting चालू हो जाए, और not just shooting, यार सबका काम चालू होना चाहिए, सिर्फ हमारा क्यों चालू हो जाए, and hopefully we can get back to living happy and normal lives. Lekin, I have some interesting projects coming up this year. So yes, very excited about all of these projects releasing, and inshallah hum sab healthy, safe और positive रहें.
It was a pleasure having the two of you. I wish you all the luck. I am gonna binge listen to the audio book, I would say. You please stay safe, and thank you so much for joining with us.
Shaka, thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you so much guys for watching this Candid Chat session with me, Vishakha Pandey, जहां आज मेरे मेहमान थे प्रतीक बब्बर एंड रसिका दुग्गल. आप लोग ऑडिबल्स पे ये ऑडियो बुक सुनना ना भूलिएगा, एंड ऑल्सो नीचे बने कमेंट सेक्शन में बताना ना भूलिएगा what do you have to say about this project of Prateik Babar and Rasika Dugal. Until then, stay tuned to Telechakkar for all the more updates for the Tele world. Know all about the Tele world by subscribing to Telechakkar's YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated to our new videos.